Hey guys, what's going on? Steven back again, and I'm back with another 40K video from Major Kill. So sorry I sound so terrible. I got a head cold, so I'm all stuffed up. At least it's nothing, too bad, just congested. But anyways, the title of the video is Chaos Champions Explained. Cool. So let me know, who is your favorite Chaos Champion and why? Alright, so let's get into the video. Here we go.
G'day guys and gal, life for 99.99% of Chaos followers sucks megaballs, even for Space Marines. They're constantly infighting, making truces, breaking those truces. Life is a non-stop power struggle, where the only way to get to the top is either make a dozen deals with a dozen devils, or be Abaddon. However, for those that are mighty enough to rise to the top, fending off multiple challenges while inflicting damage to the enemies of Chaos, which is everyone, they become Chaos Champions. A wide term for a lot of badasses who wear armor so dope, it makes you wonder how the Dark Mechanicum was able to take all of the Riz during the Horus Heresy.
That's pretty
Before we get started,
armor.
It's Friday, baby, and you know what that means. New major mini launch. This time, it's the Chaotic Lich Lord, an evil champion of death. If he looks familiar, then get your eyes checked because he totally isn't that guy from that other franchise. This model was months in progress, as I wanted to get him perfect. It comes with 2 head variants as well as a custom base. Major mini ships worldwide.
I don't see any resemblance at all.
USD, or free if you spend over $75 or more.
Nothing.
We have dozens of models from various factions, such as Kitten from the Emperor's armies, the Chaotic Lich Lord from the Chaotic Legions, the Space Elf Avenger Lord from the Space Elves, and the King Orc from the Xeno forces, with many, many more on the way. Link is below. Today we'll go over the Chaos Champions, how you become one,
I like his minis.
Champion,
those things are
the various different
pretty
types
badass.
of champions, as well as some of the notable champions in the setting you should know about. Let's get into it. As the Horus Heresy came to a close, a lot of Trader Marines had done some pretty epic shit, whilst also guzzling the Chaos Kool-Aid. This made them the natural war leaders and champions for post-Heresy Chaos, who was just trying to get its bearings after getting skull-fucked during the Scouring. Marines who were previously company captains were now hulking monsters, flesh fused to Terminator armor. Now Chaos had never really been good at uniformity or the assignment of roles and ranks, so the term Chaos Champion can be used pretty loosely, like are they only a legitimate champion if they've been marked by one of the Chaos Gods, or are they a champion if they're a badass and warriors chant their name before battle. But for the sake of education of war, I'll try to keep it as straightforward as possible. Post-Heresy, there were numerous Chaos champions. Khan was a champion of Khorne, Typhus a champion of Nurgle, Ahriman an unwilling champion of Tzeentch, and Lucius being the champion of Slaanesh. But then there were also infamous...
I kind of hear Lucius as like the worst one. I mean, he looks cool. You know, his armor and stuff like that looks badass, but I don't know, from some of the other videos I've watched, like, he's pretty terribly written, which is kind of a shame. You know, I've heard, like, obviously, killing him and taking, joy in killing him, you end up becoming him. And then I've heard other things that, well, even if you directly didn't kill him, like if he steps on like a landmine that you assembled, you could end up becoming him, which seems kind of weird and dumb. Like, alright, well, like, cool, the guy who assembled that landmine that Lucius blew himself up on now becomes him, but what about the person who planted the landmine that Lucius stepped on? Wouldn't he become, it's just, I don't know, I just hear he's just very poorly written, which is a shame. Like I said before, he looks really cool. I mean, look at that armor and stuff like that, all the faces just screaming and stuff. I mean, that's just badass, but maybe one day things will change.
Warband leaders like Falcus Kaiba, who somehow returned to life after getting turbo killed by Nathaniel Garro. All of these were heroes or villains depending which side of the Horus Heresy you were on. But let's say you're a bright-eyed young Chaos Marine who wants to be the very best. like no one ever was. You want to become a Chaos Champion, and through that, either a Warlord or even a Demon Prince, which is often considered to be the prize as to why so many people risk everything to follow Chaos. How do you go about becoming a Chaos Champion though? Well, you can't just apply and do multiple rounds of interviews. You need to get the attention of your patron god. If you're a Death Guard, you need
do a lot of
attention.
deeds.
If you're an Emperor's Children, you need Slanesh to jerk his many gherkins to you, and so on. You will need to raise Imperial worlds, slay enemy heroes, make sacrifices to your patron god, and all around just fit the vibe.
Yeah.
You need to want it as well, like really bad. If you somehow manage to survive long enough to cut off an Exarch's head or rip the spine out of an Emperor's Champion, then you will receive the Mark of Chaos. A mark that says, yeah buddy, you think you're hot shit, now's your chance to prove it. This turns you into an aspiring champion. The meaning is in the name, and we aren't all retarded, so I don't have to explain what that means.
Right.
This is just the start though. Sure, you're now cool enough to lead your own squad or be given a small measure of command to prove yourself, but you now have a shitload of rivals. The gods are very picky with who they're allowed to become their champions, and they get a stiffy every time two aspiring champions kill each other. From here there is a shitload of potential upgrade
Only the strongest survives.
the aspiring champion can take. If they kill a rival aspiring champion who has Terminator armor, then they can take the armor and become a Terminator champion, often allowing them to lead their own squad of Terminators. They could choose to merge with a demon and become a possessed champion. While that does give them a big boost in power, it is also a bit of a side grade as it caps how far they can go after it. As they become more and more impressive, their gods will bless them more and more with mutations. Eventually they become one of 4 pre-champions. That being a Plague Champion, a Skull Champion, Aspiring Sorcerer, or Voice Champion. These aren't the true champions, more so like elite units dedicated to their patron god. However, they are only one step away from
side
becoming
champions,
a true champion
basically.
at this point, or becoming a Chaos Spawn, but more on that later. On rare occasions, some Chaos Marines can go down the route of becoming a Chaos Champion of Undivided. Balancing the desires of all 4 Chaos Gods is a bit of a tricky one, as they are all a bunch of temperamental bastards.
Yeah,
this
that's
is
gotta be
usually
hard
reserved
trying
for
to
members of the Black Legion
balance
or the
that
occasional
one.
Wordbearer. But since the Wordbearer seemingly forgot their own setting at all, I'd say it's mostly for the Black Legion. Now, when you do everything right, you've pruned some noobs, pruned some pros, fought off every challenge to your ascension, by killing just as many aspiring Chaos Champions as enemy heroes, you'll reach the final decision. You'll be covered in legendary gear, perhaps you have a relic or demon weapon. Billions will know your name either in fear or awe. The Eldar Farseers curse you as a scourge upon the galaxy, whilst even the greatest of the Imperium's heroes hesitate when they know they have to engage you in battle. One of two things will then happen.
Kind of cool.
Either one,
pretty cool
congrats,
reputation
you're
to
now
have.
Chaos Champion. You get a big power boost, an army flocks to your banner, and you're ready to fuck. Or quite hilariously, you will turn into a Chaos Spawn and be nothing but a mindless, agonized abomination that will act as a bolt shell sponge until you're annihilated. Your twisted soul screaming as it enters the warp and is devoured. The grim thing about the Chaos Spawn option is that it can either occur because you're too arrogant, or you'll be an ineffectual champion, or the Chaos God was just bored and thought it would be funny. There have been aspiring champions who would have been legendary champions, but instead got turned into Chaos Spawns just for the memes, which that is
that sucks.
hilarious. As a champion of Chaos, you will lead
definitely
armies of Chaos
sucks.
across the galaxy.
I wonder, are there any like elite like champion Chaos Spawns? Just a thought.
Claiming souls in the name of your patron god. From here, you'll either eventually get rewarded and transformed into an immortal demon prince, the ultimate goal for most Chaos followers, or if the Chaos gods deem you too valuable as a mortal, meaning they like the fact that they can send you into any war zone because you aren't a demon, so you can't get banished from a lack of war presence, then they will just empower you as much as possible without turning you into a demon. This is why the greatest champions of each Chaos god, that being Khan, Lucius, Typhus, Ahriman, and Abaddon, will never become demon princes. They are too valuable. When Chaos wants to invade somewhere, they first need to send in the Chaos Cultists and Chaos Marines, who then corrupt the battlefield enough for the demon legions to be able to spawn. If all the good champions become demons, then there would be no one to make spawning
then they can't do,
doable. In saying that, those Chaos champions are so overly empowered that you wouldn't even consider them mortal anymore. Lucius can infinitely respawn, Khan has died and was brought back by Khorne, Typhus cannot die, and Ahriman is Ahriman. So basically they have all the perks of demonhood without any of the negatives. So now you know what a Chaos champion is, and how to become one. Let's look at some of the known champions to see if the role is really as glamorous as it seems. First, we have Arghast, the Pillager. Despite being a member of the Black Legion, he was actually a champion of Khorne, but he was pretty flexible. Thus, he did use sorcerers and another Khornite warriors in his forces. I mean, fuck, the dude even used sorcery himself. However, he was a bit of a turbo dick, with his warriors only fighting alongside him out of fear. He was abandoned by his allies and slaughtered like a dog by the Blood Ravens during the Second Aurelian Crusade.
Oh wow.
Then we have Asmilius, a champion of Slanesh who was so powerful that Abaddon gave him one of his Arcs of Omen in return for the champion finding him a key fragment. However, as this dude was a champion of Slanesh, i.e. a backstabbing slut, Abaddon left the Terminator on a guard to watch over Asmilius, as much to protect him as to murder him if he tried to renege on their deal. Excoriator was a champion of Sinch that led his own warband. When he invaded the Styges system, the Fire Claws chapter went to engage. Excoriator came face to face with a Fire Claws librarian and the two wizards dueled. It took the deaths of 4 of his brothers to give the librarian an opening to kill Excoriator, cutting his head off with the champion's own sword. Not all Chaos champions are in fact Space Marines. These days almost all of them are, as a mortal Chaos champion doesn't stand a chance against an Astartes version, but before the Horus Heresy, the Chaos Gods had to rely on non-Space Marine mortals to be the instruments of their will. Kerngar was one such champion, and boy was he powerful. However, he was also wildly arrogant, and he declared that he could never be killed in battle. So Khorne sent Skulltaker, his greatest duelist, to test the theory. The theory crumbled as Skulltaker cut off Kurganar's head and added it to his massive collection. Maltrius was a champion of Nurgle. Now Nurgle bitches are hard as hell to kill due to their regenerative abilities. However, not even a stinky boy can survive having his ship vaporized in the void, which is exactly what happened to Maltrius. A slightly more successful champion of Nurgle, we now have Repugnus, nice name. He was heavily involved in the invasion of Corvin II, where the Death Guard squared off against the Ultramarines. Repugnus led a boarding action against the Ultramarines but was repelled. However, he was tenacious and continued to fight in the war, his final fate not entirely clear. Then there was Varlag the Butcher, champion of Khorne. During a battle between the World Eaters and Iron Hands, Varlag challenged Ironfather Cardan Stronos to a 1v1. Now World Eaters are tough, but you really shouldn't fuck with Iron Hands. They quite literally have nothing to lose and are the definition of cold logic. A wild berserker fighting style might be good against the Ultramarines, but against an Iron Hand, it's like a non-verbal autistic kid doing the arm-spinny attack thingo. As Varlag charged, Cardan cut off his head with a single swing, ending the duel instantly. Zargan Iron Fist was a champion who was a very naughty boy. He was expelled from the Emperor's Children for raiding his captain's palace and crucifying his prostitutes. Not okay. After his exile, he followed a demon prince and eventually got his hands on a small fleet of his own. However, his ship would be destroyed by a rogue trader vessel near the Eye of Terror. Finally, there is Zelek Blackshade, a champion of Khorne. We don't know much about his lore, but he's an extremely old character, ranging back to 1991, and he actually looks awesome, featuring a scorpion tail and a helmet shaped like a bloodletter. Of course, there are many more champions out there, but these were sort of the best examples. As you can see, being a Chaos champion is an occupational hazard. Your patron god will not intervene in fate to save you. You do not get plot armor just because you're a champion. If anything, it increases your chance of death, as now you have to be aggressive and risky in order to maintain your warband's respect and the approval of your god. If you become a champion, but then you become a pussy, your Chaos god will either Chaos spawn your ass, or your second in command will shank you and take your warband. Just another example of why joining Chaos fucking sucks. If you enjoyed the video and you want to support the channel, then pick up the Chaotic Lich Lord, a stunning new model scaled to tabletop, which would be a fucking awesome champion for your next warband. Hit the subscribe button and hit the real subscribe button for more championed content. Join the Discord for more memes, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.
Okay, so there we go. There are Chaos Champions explained. That was pretty interesting. There was a lot of Chaos Champions, but yeah, being a Chaos Champion, that's definitely gonna suck, you know, being a target and stuff like that, and, you know, gotta live up to the expectations of your, you know, Chaos God, because if not, you know, then, well, things won't go so well for you, you know? How would you like to be a Chaos Spawn? Man, but, yeah, it's just hard to talk and breathe. But yeah, some of them are pretty interesting and stuff like that, you know. Some of them got pretty wrecked, pretty owned, you know. This guy here was pretty interesting. Although he doesn't look as cool as Lucius, though. I mean, Lucius looks really badass and stuff like that. He just looks pretty much almost the same as Armin, basically, just about, you know. The armor's a little bit different, but yeah, but I understand the reasoning for you know, Chaos Champions and stuff like that, you know, so they don't have to deal with any of the warp issues that demons do. This guy looks pretty cool too, you know. That guy looks pretty badass. That's a cool helmet. It's kind of like almost like the mouth of Sauron, basically, except, you know, the visor that he can see out of, where Mouth of Sauron can't. But yeah, he's pretty cool. Skulltaker's pretty badass too. I like the way he just sits. Oh man, but yeah, some of these champions are pretty good, or actually were pretty good, you know. Some of them are dead, some of them are missing, like this one here, I believe, is fate unknown, so who knows what really happened to him. But yeah, just overall, you know, sucks to be a Chaos Champion, you know. everybody coming after you, and all the, tasks and stuff like that you got to do to, become a Chaos Champion, and yeah, got that reputation now, but you really can't become a Demon Prince. I mean, if you do, start to become a bit of a demon, then, there's only so much you can do and stuff like that, so it is what it is. So anyways, there we go. There is Chaos Champions Explained. Pretty interesting. Some of those are were pretty cool and stuff like that. The corn one at the end sounded pretty interesting, with like the scorpion tail and stuff like that. I still can't believe that old mini and stuff like that. My God. The old minis. Good stuff. But, yeah, other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, hit that thumbs up button. That'd be awesome. Remember, feel free to subscribe to my channel. Follow me on social media. Links in the description box below. And other than that, just stick around. More videos are on the way. And I will see you guys next time.